Good morning, everyone. Now, today we are starting with a new chapter of history, chapter number 5, the Revolt of 1857, which is also known as the First War of Independence. Today we are going to study about the causes of the Revolt of 1857, the causes which made Indian people to take this step to fight against the Britishers for their rights and for the independence of India. So, without any delay, let's begin with the class. Nature of the Revolt of 1857. Here, the nature means what type of the revolt was. The historians have different views regarding the nature of the revolt of 1857. The British historians have different view, the Indian historians have different view about it. So the British historians, they call it as purely as a military revolt. That this revolt, this war took place between the sepoys of English and the Indians. But the Indians regard it as the first war of independence. Now, there are many reasons behind it. Many political, social, religious, economic, and military causes were responsible for creating unrest and discontent, which ultimately led to rising of 1857. Unrest and discontent means people were not happy. They were they were feeling very uneasy by uh, all the rules and the interferences done by the Britishers in their life. Okay, now we're going to study the causes in detail. The first cause is political causes. Lord Dalhousie annexed Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur, and many other states by the doctrine of lapse. Children, do you remember what was doctrine of lapse? Doctrine of lapse was if the ruler of particular state die without the natural born heir, then his kingdom will directly go under the British after his death. So through this, they captured Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur and many more states. The annexation of Awadh by Lord Dalhousie threw thousands of nobles, gentlemen, officers and soldiers out of the job. Now when they annexed Awadh, when they captured Awadh, then at that time they threw many Indians like nobles, gentlemen, officers and soldiers out of their job. Now, the policy of annexation created panic among the rulers of the other states also, and no ruler felt safe. The policy of annexation was so tricky and so weird, and even it brought a fear among the rulers of the other states, and they were not feeling safe at all. The administration was corrupt and inefficient. जो भी administration था, it was corrupt, totally. They bribed, we can say, and they were not even efficient in their work. The British rule had become unbearable, and people wanted to uproot it. Now, ब्रिटिशर्स की ऐसी पॉलिसीज बन चुकी थी जो कि लोगों को बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं थी और उनसे वो बिल्कुल भी खुश नहीं थे. So they wanted to end the British rule in India. Now the next is social and religious causes. The practice of sati was abolished. Child marriage, infanticide, and polygamy were forbidden. Widow remarriage was legalized. By doing all these changes in the Indian society, the Indian people thought that the British wanted to end up their social order. They thought that the Britishers are interfering in their social and the religious matters, and they wanted to bring the Western culture. Okay, as the Britishers abolished the sati system, they banned child marriage, killing of infanticide and polygamy, and the widow remarriage was legalized by them. Now the Christian missionaries, they started converting Hindus and Muslims to Christianity, and even the British government also supported them, which was not liked by the Indian people. The introduction of telegraph, railways, and the spread of Western education also created the doubts and the fears in the minds of the Indian people. Okay, that they again they thought that they are bringing the Western education and Western culture in between our social and religious motives or beliefs. Okay, next cause is economic causes. British exploited the economic resources of India. ब्रिटिशर्स ने completely इंडिया के जो इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट के resources थे, like spices, gold, and handicrafts, everything was exploited by the Britishers just to become richer at the cost of the Indians. Means Indians तो चाहे grow करें economically नहीं करें, they were not bothered, they were only bothered about themselves. So they exploited the economic resources of India, and they even subordinated the Indian economy to the interest of the British trade and interest. उन्होंने इंडियन ट्रेड को तो एक साइड पे रख दिया, ब्रिटिश ट्रेड इंडस्ट्री को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए इंडियंस को बहुत फायदा नहीं दिया. Now there was a sudden and quick collapse of the Indian handicrafts and it impoverished the craftsmen. अब ब्रिटिशर्स ने इतना ज़्यादा एक्सप्लॉयटेशन कर दिया था कि हर छोटी बात पे दे यूज टू कलेक्ट द रेवेन्यू ऑन ट्रेड, on agriculture, on land, on everything. So and they didn't even paid attention towards the handicraft and the handloom industry of India. So very quickly and in a short period of time, the Indian handicraft industry was totally vanished, and even the craftsmen also. Okay, now the next one is military causes. Military causes. There were no fellow feelings between the English and the Indian soldiers. Fellow feelings means there were no feeling of brotherhood, unity, or equality. The Indian soldiers were considered inferior. Inferior means of low status. The Indian sepoys were not given handsome salaries, they were not given the good amount of money as compared to the English soldiers. Now, when the British army suffered the reverses means the after effects in the Afghan war, the Sikh war, and the Crimean war, it emboldened the Indian sepoys. Emboldened means it gave the strength, courage, power to the Indian sepoys, Indian soldiers to fight back with British soldiers. Okay, now the last cause was the immediate cause. By the 1857, there was a new weapon, the gun. The Royal Enfield gun was introduced among the Indian sepoys, and that was it only worked as a spark. Spark means आग में चिंगारी उठना, okay, या घी डालना जिससे वो और बढ़ी. So that was a spark which was needed to set Indians into anger. So a new type of rifles were introduced in the British Army in 1853, and the rumors had spread in the sepoy camps. Rumors means ऐसी अफवाह sepoys camp में आ गई कि that the cartridges जो उस गन की गोलियां हैं वो काव के और पिग के फैट से ग्रीस की गई हैं. And what was there, before using that cartridge, it has to be opened from the mouth and then loaded in the gun and then it was shot. Okay, so the Hindus and the Muslim sepoys, they were not ready to use that kind of cartridge or the gun, so they objected it. Okay, they were against it. But the Britishers didn't agree to their conditions, and finally, what happened? The sepoys thought that the British were deliberately trying to hurt their religious sentiments. अब मुस्लिम्स और हिंदू सोल्जर्स ने ये मान लिया और इंडियंस ने ये मान लिया कि ये सब ब्रिटिश आर्मी जानबूझ के कर रही है हमारे रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट्स को हर्ट करने के लिए. सो दैट वाज द मेजर बिगिनिंग जिस टाइम ये रिवोल्ट स्टार्ट हुआ इंडिया के हर पार्ट में. ऑलमोस्ट इन ऑल द पार्ट्स द इंडियन सिपॉइज rose their voice against it. Okay, now if you find any problem, please do ask me, and please read the chapter very carefully. Now it's time for your homework. In today's homework, you have to do question number 1 of exercise D. The question is, what makes us call the uprising of 1857 the first war of independence? Answer is, people from all walks of life, inspired by the noble ideals of nationalism and independence, supported their rulers against the British. Hence, the revolt of 1857 can be called the first war of independence. Okay, now the next question you have to do is question number 2. What led to the Great Rising of 1857, which reformers were resented by the people? Answer is, the causes of Great Rising of 1857. Number 1, political causes. Number 2, social and religious causes. Number 3, economic causes. Number 4, military causes. And number 5 is immediate cause. Now, along with these two questions, you have to do the key terms of the chapter on page number 45. Children, please do your work in a very neat writing. Again, I am reminding you to read the chapter as it is an important one. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.